Well, hello, folks. I was just wishing Happy New Year and happy and peaceful New Year to friends. And all of a sudden, next day we woke up to news that there was a very tragic attack in New Orleans, the French Quarter of New Orleans. The white pickup truck basically rammed through the crowd, and the total uh, number of deaths now is standing at 15 and 30 plus. Also, people were seriously wounded. The driver, thanks God, he engaged in a gunfight with the cops, and he was eventually killed on the scene. In the process, he also shot two police officers. A good thing is they're not dead; they're recovering in the hospital. So I wish them also a fast recovery. So first off, obviously, this my sincere condolences to people who who lost loved ones, those 15 people, their families, and people in New Orleans. So what I want to talk about here is basically, uh, you know, following up events, 24 hours and then 48 hours later. So where we're at now with the information we have, what's going on, how the authorities are handling the whole incident, the terrorist attack, and I'm going to use the term, the operative term here is terrorist attack. And let's kind of dig into that a little bit. There are three different incidents, right? The first day of the year, in the year 2025, three separate attacks. One in New Orleans, one in Las Vegas, the hotel, the Trump Hotel, the Tesla truck got exploded, and also in New York City, Queens neighborhood, a nightclub. Although they're all three, in geographically, physically different locations, they're wondering if there's any kind of correlation or not. I think the conventional thinking is telling me, and probably a lot of people would agree with that, is there is some sort of correlation between those three incidents. All three are happening the exact same day, right? It's meaningful. The first day of the year, three attacks, a lot of deaths. I mean, 15 deaths in New Orleans, and 11 plus. Maybe I don't know. The number is gonna be going higher in New York City, and also the Tesla truck explosion in Las Vegas. So now, first off, I wanna talk about the way FBI was handling this. And especially, I want to draw attention to the fact that FBI initial reports, official reports coming from FBI was that they were saying that they were not categorizing this as a terroristic attack. There is a truck basically simply ramming through the crowd, right? Mowing through the crowd, trying to kill as many people as possible. And then on the truck, they're finding the ISIS flag. Although it was not waving at the time of attack, it was ISIS. It's clearly ISIS flag, and it was wrapped around a pole at the back of the truck. And they found IEDs, uh, uh, improvised explosive devices. And none of these things are not telling FBI, are not giving enough evidence to FBI to get them tell that that was actual terroristic attack. On the other hand, uh, early part of the month, December, when Luigi Mangione shot and killed the United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson, they did not even, lose a second, and they classified that as a terroristic attack. So Luigi Mangione is officially, according to the FBI, is a terrorist. But this guy, what was his name? Shamsu Din Jabbar, according to the FBI, was not a terrorist. Although later on now, I believe he is categorized, and this attack was categorized as a terroristic attack. I believe. I hope. So, folks, I'm just trying to kind of make sense out of this. How is it that Federal Bureau of Investigation, when they take full and 100% control of the incident, and they have the full authority of investigating it, this is a federal investigation, to understand and make sense, collect evidence, and eventually they are fully responsible to the American people to explain what happened, what transpired up to and including the attack, the moment of attack. Who was behind it? Okay, they got the guy. Was he working alone? Was he doing this? Is this some kind of a coordinated and orchestrated effort? Or he is just a lone wolf? He is completely looks like he's radicalized by ISIS. Is it really like that? Is it something else? Some gut feeling I have, it is telling me that it's a whole lot more than what they reveal. And yet, it was to me a shame, a huge shame for FBI spokesperson officially standing in front of cameras and telling American public that they did not think or they did not categorize this extremely violent, tragic incident as not terrorism. So that is one of the things I wanted to talk about. The other one is there are a lot of questions, unanswered questions yet. So basically, I think everybody is speculating. And I am also one of those people, right? I'm just here to talk about, maybe vent, and also speculate, contribute to speculations. Because I think it looks like everybody else, including FBI, is speculating. They were saying we don't think he's a terrorist. There's a terrorist attack. Whether it's a lone wolf or internationally coordinated terrorist activity, it is a terrorist activity. Doesn't matter. So I want to dig a little more here, because prior to the attack, I mean very short time prior to the attack, there was those road barriers to stop the very thing that we just witnessed. Any vehicle going through public street when there's a lot of people partying, celebrating, like New Year's celebrations, Christmas Eve celebrations, like it happened only a couple of weeks ago in Germany in the Christmas market. To be able to stop those kinds of incidents, they have barriers. Those barriers are also, can be found in, for instance, the major locations in London, in Germany, big cities in Germany, in New Orleans, on Bourbon Street. Any place that the huge crowds are gathering to celebrate events like New Year's and those things. But the funny thing is, for whatever reason, and there is not a good enough explanation for that the barrier was lowered. I think as far as my understanding goes is, what was it they were saying, maintenance purposes, that there was some problems, they were going to repair it. I'm not sure. I don't think anybody is fully confirmed and sure what happened. But how is it that, what a big huge coincidence that the short time period, short after the barrier was lowered to maintain it, to fix it, this incident took place. I personally have a hard time to buy into that. I'm not convinced with that explanation. I don't believe in that. And I believe there's a whole lot uglier things behind that than what they reveal. I understand that authorities are under huge pressure trying to manage the public aspect of it because they have to inform public, but they're under pressure because there's a whole lot uglier picture that they cannot reveal to public, so they gotta play around as they always do. They have to play around with the words, with statements. They're gonna cover up a lot of things. I wonder who has any more full confidence in these institutions like FBI, Federal Bureau of Investigation. If they come out and say we don't categorize that as a terroristic act, then how can you possibly have respect for this institution? That they are fully responsible. Their foremost responsibility is to protect the public. And yet, What they're doing is, by hiding the truth and facts, they fail to deliver on their promise to people, to public. Also, let's take a look at the two other incidents. The one in New Orleans, and the other one is in Las Vegas. The both guys rented their vehicles from the same organization, same company, same rental company, using the same app on their phones. I can't remember the rental company's name now. It's not important. You guys can go ahead and easily Google and look it up for, it doesn't matter. What I know is, what we all know is, that they rent the truck, the vehicles that they use in their crime, in their heinous activity, from the same company. And both guys have military background. And what a coincidence that both are from the same base. So let's look at the coincidences. There's basically a series of coincidences that is taking place, and let's look at them. One, both incidents took place on the same day, which happens to be the first day of the new year. Two, perpetrators are both ex-military. Three, both are from the same base. Four, both rented their vehicles in a crime from the same company. I just listed 4 coincidences behind these two events. I refuse to believe that these were coincidences. All that stuff was all coincidental. There is nothing behind that. They were lone wolves. I don't believe in any of that. I don't believe in it. I refuse to believe all that bullshit that they're trying to feed us. And I start refusing to believe what FBI was telling. And I believe they will become a whole lot more horse shit to convince public that, to kind of steer the public in a direction that they want the public to believe in, because they don't want the public to learn what actually transpired, who organized that, who orchestrated that, and the actual motive behind all that, all those very extremely violent activities. And again, third attack in New York City, the Queens neighborhood of New York City, in the nightclub, which ended up with now 11 people dead. Unfortunately, I believe there's going to be more of that. Some of those wounded people, typically, they later reveal the information that more of that is coming from the hospital. I refuse to believe these 3 incidents are not related. It's just a coincidental that all 3 took place in the same day, and it happened to be the first day of the year. Especially when I look at the Las Vegas attack, which took place right by the Trump Hotel, and very interestingly enough, it was a Tesla truck that was used in this attack. So I refuse to believe that none of these are politically charged. 3 of them are basically what is the word? Completely coincidental. They are not related. They are isolated events. I refuse to believe, if they go on forward, if the authorities who are responsible to understand what happened, resolve every single detail, and inform the public, if they come up with this kind of final explanation, saying this is what happened, there is no correlation, there is nothing behind that, these are lone wolves, it just happened to be 3 of them on the same day, I will think that these institutions got to the point of, very brazenly thinking anymore. They got very comfortable to treat people and to as stupid masses, and basically insulting the intelligence of the public. They got so much used to that, and they don't even see any point anymore, any problems with further insulting the intelligence of the public by coming up with these kind of comments and explanations and reports. What I would like to state here, that these authorities, including FBI, they have to stop insulting the intelligence of the public, and they have to complete their responsibilities, understand every little detail, and tell American people what actually happened and transpired. All those people, their potential connections, like this guy, whether he is just a lone wolf, radicalized himself online by looking at what ISIS was doing, or is he actually related to the organization called ISIS? All these things have to be resolved, cleared out. Details have to be collected, gathered, analyzed, and then put in a good perspective and honestly communicated to American public, telling people that this is what actually transpired. Otherwise, there will be much less respect and confidence in these institutions who are charged and responsible with the duty of protecting the public. Thank you very much for listening to me.